Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Yahusha's time. True Yahusha consists of Hebrews and Gentiles made one in Yahusha Messiah. True Yahusha is the banner, is the label that represents our forefather, whose birth name was Yaakov, commonly known as Jacob. But his name was changed to Yahusha, most commonly referred to as Israel, who is the grandson of Abraham and the son of Isaac, commonly known as Isaac. Scriptures foretell of a final exodus, of a restoration, of a gathering of Yahusha, of Hebrews, gathered from the four corners of the earth. That time is approaching. Those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father, who accept that His Word manifest in the flesh was in the person, in the man Yahusha Messiah. I consider you my brothers and my sisters. Again, this is Yahusha's time, an end time series, and this reflects the messages that I am compelled to present to you, my brothers and sisters. My name is Symmanayah, and today is December 28th, 2014. This is part one of a multi-part segment. This segment is entitled Voice of a Shepherd. My brothers and sisters, do you think the Most High created a plan for us to walk around as silos, as individuals lost, wandering the earth? Do you believe we have a shepherd, an ultimate shepherd in Yahusha Messiah? Do you believe that the Almighty Father Yahuah sent His set-apart Spirit in Yahusha's name to teach us and bring things to remembrance, all that He's told us, all that He will tell us? Have you come to understand that Yahusha is indeed our shepherd, that He works within our spirits directly with us? He works through us, one towards another, and through His chosen, whether it be chosen mores, chosen leaders, chosen teachers, chosen prophets. There are those that are chosen, and there are those that are self-appointed and self-proclaimed, or proclaimed erroneously as servants to a specific office. But there are also those that are chosen. We are not void of reproof, nor are we void of instruction from the voice of a shepherd. That shepherd, that one and only shepherd that matters, is Yahusha Messiah. My brothers and sisters, the fruit of our beliefs and expectations approaches us like never before. In other words, the things that we believe, the actions we take, the outcome, the results regarding our expectations will soon be proven. We will soon come to realize we are living in the exact time that is described as end times in the scriptures, as mentioned by Yahusha Messiah himself. There are those who study scriptures and have no problems identifying that the texts have been tampered with by man. There are those who have no problems with removing pagan false idol names and terms that are used widely in an attempt to hide the names Yahuwah and Yahusha. We have come to realize the scriptures have undergone many changes and translations over the years. Since the texts have been presented to man, we have seen multiple translations. The scriptures inform us that the Almighty Father Yahuah changes not, never changes. If we believe this wholeheartedly and truly, we must know and will know that the Almighty Father, in spite of man's tampering, He has not changed. He produces processes. He produces a plan. He demands worship and obedience. Although man have tampered with the text, the spirit remains the same. It would be wise to come to grips that in order for us to fully experience the set-apartness of the Almighty Father Yahuah, we must and will come to accept His set-apart Spirit was sent in Yahusha's name. Yahusha, His Word manifest in the flesh, made flesh in the person of Yahusha. His Word made flesh in the earthen body we know as Yahusha, sacrificed and resurrected from the grave, was the physical earthen body that the Almighty Father chose to dwell in, that we know and will come to know why and the purpose of the ministry of Yahusha Messiah. His word returning and transformed. His word in the set-apart spirit of Yahusha as our teacher was sent to us. With these words said, know this: when the scriptures speak of David or David coming to rule in the final days, it was man that tampered with the written text. It was man that want us to believe that David will come back. But if you truly seek the living presence of the spirit of Yahusha, you will discover it means that one from the lineage of David, one of David's heirs, and that is Yahusha Messiah, our Mashiach, is what that scripture is referencing. Though people will say you're changing the scriptures, remember man tampered with it, but that does not prohibit nor can it completely stop the truth, what must be said and what will be fulfilled regarding all that is written. There are individuals who may not know what I am referring to at this time, but in due season you will discover the meaning of what I just stated. We have entered into the time spoken of in scriptures that describe the final days of man as we know it. As we know it in these earthen vessels. Soon and very soon, we are getting ready to face the most extreme humbling of times, demanding our obedience. Believe it or not, there are those who are awake and have come to discern and witness the beginning of end-time prophecies unfold at their tip. In other words, like the tip of an iceberg. Anyone who knows the anatomy of an iceberg would know at the tip of an iceberg floating on the sea below is a much greater size. And just as the characteristics of an iceberg floating on the sea shows its tip only to be large below, we are seeing the tip of the iceberg as it relates to end-time prophecies being fulfilled. I have come to know this system of sequences as the Amos sequence, and I believe it has begun. A system of sequences of which I have pointed out in times past, where it defines how the Most High brought drought and famine and pestilence and disease, and then used Amos to warn his people to prepare to meet their Maker. I invite you to read the 4th chapter of Amos, specifically verses 6 through the end of that chapter. We have reached a point in prophecy where drought, the disappearance of fresh water, is growing widely in areas where much of our food is grown. Drought conditions are spreading across the planet, and soon the entire population will be in agreement that our food supply is shrinking beyond repair. Scientists and world leaders are fully aware that the population of our planet is far outpacing food production. There have been warnings and words such as peak levels, tipping points, point of no return, population control, extinction level events, and more, describing the cataclysmic conditions ahead. What we are witnessing now is only the tip of the iceberg. Again, I say it's only the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, where we will only experience a small glimpse at the beginning. But the time of sorrows has started. For years now, drought conditions have been getting worse and worse. Our food supplies are dwindling beyond measure, with most of the West and many of the major industrialized nations masking the conditions with economics and food inventory logistics. The time is approaching where economic and food logistics, along with genetically modified organisms or GMOs, will no longer be a means of masking the most troubling of times for man regarding food. We are indeed on a collision course to total extinction as we know it in these earthen vessels. Yasharal, true Yasharal, both Hebrews and Gentiles, know this: the scriptures inform us that we will put off this corruptible body and put on an incorruptible body, that these corruptible bodies will return back to the earth. True Yasharal, when we put on the incorruptible, will spend the remaining time, from that time going forward, in everlasting life. So I shouldn't say remaining time, but from that point forward, in everlasting life with Yahusha Messiah. Those who serve and worship the wicked one, a different end awaits you, eternal damnation. But you too will experience a transformation from the corruptible body to a form which you will be in eternal damnation. The scriptures inform us that there will be a transformation. Pray, my brothers and sisters. Choose wisely. The children of obedience will be drawn and gathered from the four corners of the earth, as described in scriptures. We will witness a massive number of diverse people from many nations, kindreds, tribes, and tongues. They will be gathered together with us, we who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 Hebrews, 12,000 from each of the tribes of Yasharal, as described in Revelation 7 chapter. I believe, as I stated before, we are being refined for such a time to fulfill what is written. What will be one of the most intriguing and amazing things will be the emergence of the 144,000 Hebrews, or Bari, or Abarim, as some may say it. Physically visible to the world. 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes mentioned in Revelation 7 chapter. Yes, true descendants of Abraham, Yitzhak, commonly known as Isaac, and Yaakov, commonly referred to as Jacob, whose name was changed to Yasharal, will rise up and be visible to the world. We will witness our final structuring, our emergence, a rise of an awakening nation. The world has portrayed much deceit and lies regarding the true chosen children of Yahuwah. But one of the biggest excuses is the attempt to eradicate the true descendants of the children of Yahuwah by way of race mixing. It is purported or alleged that man has mixed too many times to determine the true descendants of Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, whose name was changed to Yasharal. There has been too much race mixing to determine the true Hebrew, the true Abari. I submit to you, though man has tampered with DNA, with race mixing, with genetics, with the mixing of cells, man cannot mix and tamper with the spirit of a man. They have not learned how to mix and come up with some different brand or breed of spirit of a man. The Most High knows who his chosen children are, and we will awaken and we will become visible to the world. It was and is man who influenced the belief that true Yasharal has been eradicated through race mixing. It is man who introduced science, genetics, and DNA and so-called other scholarly constructs in an effort to dispel the possibility of identifying the scattered Hebrews, the children of Yahuwah. What man could not do, as I state again, was mix the spirit of a person. Though our flesh have been mixed in many ways, though we've been raped and pillaged and infected with other races out of wickedness and evil, we will emerge, my brothers and sisters. There must be emergence of true Hebrews who are descendants of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov in order to fulfill the 144,000. But let us not be arrogant nor conceited, nor have a sense of entitlement. Let us instead seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father. Let us come to realize that although we may be descendants of the original Hebrews, the original children of Yahuwah, let us not ignore that Gentiles have been grafted into the body of the chosen children of Yahuwah by Yahusha Messiah, and we are indeed one where there will be no Greek nor Hebrew, no bond nor free. We will be one in Yahusha Messiah. But we must realize that all individuals created by the Almighty Father who seek to do his will are indeed made one under the banner of true Yasharal. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. As we begin to face the most humbling of times, we will come to discover voice of a shepherd. Voice of a shepherd. The set apart one. The set apart voice of the Spirit of Yahusha Messiah. We will witness him speaking to us, through us, one towards another, and we will witness a rise in his chosen leaders. Voice of a shepherd, bringing leadership and structure and discipline to true Yasharal. My brothers and sisters, I have stated on many occasions there will be forced migrations, forced movements, forced transitions, and I have also stated there will be orders and command obeyed not might be obeyed, they will be obeyed by the children of obedience. In addition, I have stated unwaveringly that we do not, absolutely do not serve a passive or docile Almighty One. The Almighty Yahuah is loving, kind, comforting, but He is also severe, serious, and when necessary, much, much more. And to the rebellious and the wicked, there are times when He executes His wrath. He is the beginning and the end, and it is He that has created a very complex plan since the dawn of the ages, of which we will discover it cannot be altered nor removed. It is past the time, my brothers and sisters, for us to begin seeking the voice of a shepherd. One shepherd, Yahusha Messiah, working through us one towards another. The set-apart Spirit of the Almighty Father sent in Yahusha's name, voice of a shepherd. It is time for us to realize He is alive, my brothers and sisters. Whether you are able to believe this or not, soon and very soon it will be made clear the presence of the voice of a shepherd, one shepherd, the set-apart shepherd, Yahusha Messiah. We will witness His voice rise within us, among us. We will grow in discernment. We will improve in worship and obedience. We will be made whole, O Yasharal. The Spirit of our Almighty Father Yahuah will prove to honor His commitments and promises, His covenant to us, my brothers and sisters. Allow me to pause and present the following. John 14:25 and 26, of which I echo often. These words I spoken to you while still with you, but the Helper, the set-apart Spirit, whom the Father shall send in my name, He shall teach you all and remind you of all that I've said to you. Here it is clearly stated that the Almighty Father sent His set-apart Spirit in Yahusha's name. John 16:12 and 13 confirms the very words. Who is able to discern the Almighty Father Yahuah's desire, that He desires to identify, for us to identify His presence by the Spirit of Yahusha? He who seeks wisdom and discover the life in Scriptures will, if not already, confirm that we are indeed to recognize the Spirit of Yahuah as the Spirit of Yahusha, for the name Yahusha is reference to the period in which we are offered restoration and life immeasurably with the Almighty Father. It would be wise to realize whom we should seek to discern and respond to regarding set-apart teachings, directions, interpretations of Scriptures, and much more. Voice of a shepherd. We will see wholeness, completeness. We will see set-apart understanding and interpretation of His written word. We will see His words, His messages made straight before us, who will grow to be identified as the children of obedience. I will pause right here at this point, my brothers and sisters, and invite you to continue tuning in to part 2. This has been part 1 of Voice of a Shepherd. Voice of a Shepherd. There is only one shepherd, Yahusha Messiah, and He works through us, in us, one towards another. So this will require us at times yielding to one another, submitting to one another. In outward appearance, it would appear that we would be submitting to a man, a woman, or a child, of whom the Most High would choose to use. But the reality, the truth of the matter is, when we find ourselves yielding to set-apart orders, no matter who those orders are delivered through, it is the power and might of the Almighty Father that will bring us to submission to His orders and commands, regardless of whom He chooses to speak to us. We will learn to yield and obey those who will fulfill the prophecies of being gathered from the four corners of the earth in or be slain for Yahusha's sake as martyrs. Stay tuned for part 2, my brothers and sisters. Voice of a shepherd. There is only one voice. Let us learn how to discern His voice and those whom He chooses to speak through. Until next time, stay tuned for part 2. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.